So now we're going to look at filtering. This report was the entire customer list grouped by customer country. But what if you want to select some records based on some filtering criterion? Okay. Let's go ahead and open the data first. Okay. Then do describe list data. Okay. Now we're going to look at filtering in other ways too. There are several ways in which we can do the filtering. Okay. Now what we're going to do is to do the filter from the data source. The data is coming in, at that point we're going to filter. So this filter will work only for this task of listing customers, right? So click edit and that will open up a filtering dialog box. So now you can set up any kind of filter that you want. So this is the data that is coming in, and this filter that we're going to set up is the filter that will be used on this data set. So this is one way of doing filtering. We will look at other ways of filtering later. So suppose we want to filter to include only high activity customers born in 1970 or later. Okay. So customer type. So that's the field, and look at the different ways in which we can set up filter. Some of them are relevant for numeric filters, numeric fields. So for example, less than, equal to, or greater than, between, not between. So these are for numeric columns. And there are others for non-numeric columns, like in a list, not in a list, does not contain, contains. So these are applicable for columns that have non-numeric values in the column, right? So here we want to look at high activity customers, right? So high activity customers we're going to look at in a list. Okay. And now if you click this, we will be able to build the list from the value. So click that, right? Add values. Now it gives you the values of this column that are available. So these are the values available for that column, distinct values. So we want high activity, so we want that one, and control click that one. So these are the two values that we want to include for filtering. Okay. So now click OK. Now this is the list. So all rows with value in this column, that is in this list, either that one or that one. So if the value is in this list, then that will get selected. Okay. Now we want one more filtering criterion, and that is we want the customers to be born, right, 1970 or later. So what we need to do is to click that one, and then you can select the kind of multiple criterion that you want. You can either have AND, which means both must be true, or will be either or, obviously, right? So now the next field that we want to select is birth date. Okay. And we want greater than or equal to. Okay. All right. So now how do you specify the date of 1970? So customer birth date, we already looked at it, so it is like that. So this is a date field. So we have to provide the value as a date value. Okay. How do you do that? Well, we can only specify the date as a string. Like we can say 01 January 1970. Okay. Now if you did that, okay, So that would be a string indicating 01 Jan 1970. That needs to be converted to a date value. That would be January 1st, 1970. Greater than or equal to that number will be all birth dates 1970 or later. Okay? And that SAS syntax for that is D. If you specify the letter D at the end, then SAS will convert the string into a date value. Okay, so you must use the form DD, and then that would be the number, and then MON is a month, 3-letter month, and then 4 number year value. Okay. Alright, so click OK. Now what this is going to do is this is going to do the filtering with the incoming data. The data table will be filtered and the selected rows will be fed into this task. So now let's say that we want customer name and customer type. So customer name, customer type, okay, and then let's put customer ID as the identifying value, and okay, let's not have a row number, and let's put a title, say high activity customers. Okay, suppose we want 2 lines. So Orion star customer list, and then in the second line you can say high activity customers born 1970 or later. When you run, you get the list. Okay, so now let's go ahead and rename this as high activity 1970 plus. I think there was a problem with the way I named it. Anyway, so there you go.